Sudan, a land of civilization and immigration, the heart of Africa. Throughout all its history, it had been a point of confluence between the Mediterranean, Asia and Africa, a fact that rendered it a crucible in which peoples, tribes and cultures were molded to result in its present diversity. No wonder it became the focal point for tourists and travelers.
مرحبا بكم في السودان. يسعدنا أن تكونوا معنا ضيوفنا الكرام. نهر النيل أطول أنهار العالم يرحب بكم. والبحر الأحمر أنقى بحار الأرض جميعا يقدم لكم أجمل كنوز البحار. آثار الممالك السودانية القديمة تسعد أن تقدم لكم عمق تاريخها ومعالم حضارتها. الحياة البرية والصحارى والمرتفعات وجمال الطبيعة كلها تزدان بوجودكم وحضوركم. والشعب السوداني بتراثه المتنوع يفرح ويحتفي بكم.
With its varied regions graduating from the desert in the far north through the savanna in the middle to the rainforests in the far south, with its abundant water and flowing rivers, with its roaring cataracts and beautiful sea coasts. With all these natural riches, Sudan had become something irresistibly attractive. It tempts you to cherish it as a tourist target towards which you will start your ever unforgettable journey. It was since prehistoric immemorial times that man inhabited several parts of Sudan, leaving behind a great deal of relics and archaeological matter that, though dumb and silent, can speak about the greatness and superiority of that man. Those simple stone tools, which had been so dexterously curved and shaped, still reveal the secret of dexterity of the Sudanese man during the Old Stone Stage. During the Middle Stone Age, the first signs of Sudanese, or actually the first signs of human civilizations ever, started to show. At the site of early Khurtum civilization, the Sudanese man came to know about pottery. That was more than 8,000 years ago. In this, our Sudanese man preceded the rest of the world by about 2,000 years, by time that pottery industry developed and Shihena man excelled all others in pottery. That was quite evident from the relics left by him, which are considered to be models for that splendid African art. And on our man proceeded to exhibit his skill in the Cushitic civilization. Those magnificent buildings stand at the far northern Sudan, denoting the earliest African civilization south of the Sahara, which started about 2500 BC and continued till 1500 BC. These buildings show the greatness of those first Cushites whose civilization developed and spread over several regions of the Central Africa. Nepta was another figure in the record of human civilization. It imposed itself there with its temples, palaces, and pyramids. It extended in areas, and its monarchs ruled several parts of the African continent. They ruled Egypt for a whole century to establish the 25th monarch in the record of Egyptian monarchs and rulers. Features of Sudanese civilization were organized in Marawi, where the sun of a new culture shone. Here in Bajarawiya, Al-Nag'a, Al-Musawarat, the royal city, and other parts of Sudan, the Marawi man came to live. He started to extract iron and to organize irrigation processes, thus establishing the greatest African state at that time. Its rich kings and queens ruled over several parts of Sudan, but the Sudanese man activity never subsided through time. His relations extended to include the external world. They affected and were affected by other civilizations. These sites and others express the greatness of Christian states which followed the Meroe civilization. Those murals, which used to cover the walls of churches and cathedrals, one day have now become rare and unique relics that are exhibited in international museums. They reflect artistic and beauty visions that express the creativity of the Sudanese man, who had kept enriching human civilization with his high-class, beautiful, intellectual, and artistic creativity. From the extreme southeast and southwest, Sudan Islamic civilization started to shine with its decent tolerance and local spirits from the Fonj Sultanate. In the far western Sudan, they emerged the four sultanates. Those two were minarets that guided Sudanese people, while their signs and effects are still noticeable at present in the form of domes, mausoleums, defensive barricades, historical towns as large as Sawakin, that pearl impressed by the Red Sea coast in the far east of Sudan, which was built on an Islamic style. They also reflect the greatness of man, that whose gifts continued the whole time and extended as a human creativity inspired by the origins and sources of those deep-rooted civilizations. If you are still youthful, then you are invited for a unique blend of artistic dance and performance. Folklore dance and singing by various Sudanese tribes is something unique due to the rich diversity. Folklore, and especially dancing, is a basic feature for most Sudanese people, is a call for mutual love, toleration, and purity. Those fond about handicrafts, gifts, and souvenirs will never go astray from traditional markets that is spread in several towns such as Omdurman, Manawashi, Wau, Kadugli, Shendi, Juba, and other Sudanese towns. Popular markets in Sudan are really a joy, challenge, and thrill. The biological diversity and ecological richness resulted in a diversity of wildlife all over the country. This wide extension provided safe havens for wild animals. Sudan is characterized by abundant numbers of large mammals such as lions, elephants, buffaloes, and catambur, as well as a large diversity of small mammals, reptiles, and birds. This is our invitation for safari lovers to discover that Sudan is a kingdom for wildlife. Over 10 natural reserves and a number of reserved regions are spread in various regions in the Sudan, the most significant of those being a Dindi Reserve in central eastern Sudan, which occupies an area of 3.5 thousand square miles, is characterized by the different natural environments, rivers, marshes, pools, and plains. Southern Sudan is characterized by Jebel Bouma, Numuli, and Shambi natural reserves, together with others. In Western Sudan, we find a random natural reserve in South Darfur and Wadi Hawar Reserve in North Darfur. The River Nile is one of the longest rivers in the whole world. It traverses the country from south to north with a number of tributaries, small rivers, and streams flowing into it. The River Nile passes a number of cataracts which impart on it a halo of beauty and charm. السبلوغة cataract lies about 100 kilometers north of Khartoum. It is one of the most important rocky ranges that obstruct the Nile main course. It invites you to explore the beauty and charm of nature there. Enjoy River Nile and board a wooden boat or a Nile steamer that takes you roaming about the Nile, exploring some charming islands in the River Nile. Jebel Marra, a site lying in the far west of Sudan. It rises to over 10,000 feet above sea level. It consists of a series of high mountains which are covered by dense forests. It is characterized by many lakes, mildly flowing springs, and waterfalls that transform the region into a wonderful portrait of natural beauty. The mountains are characterized also by a number of archaeological sites that go back to periods as early as the ancient Islamic kingdoms, such as the Fourth Sultanate. There are sites that show the Sultan's cemeteries in Turra Jami', north of Jebel Marra, in addition to the palace of Sultan Dali and the mosque of Sultan Terab. For those who are fond of diving and water sports, we offer the chance to explore the Red Sea, one of the famous seas where they can enjoy crystalline coast and the rich coral reefs. It's characterized by a number of unique features which make it one of the most significant regions in diving throughout the whole world. It had a high degree of transparency and visibility, which goes as far down as 46 meters below the water surface. It provides a visibility range that is seldom experienced experienced in any other place. Temperatures also vary at different depths, a feature that renders diving sport and underwater photography an irresistible joy. Sawakin town lies south of Port Sudan. It is an ancient port that goes back in history as far as 1531-1909. Sawakin, Sudan's eastern gate, together with other gateways to the country and all attractive tourist sites in all other states, are open to welcome you. At the confluence of the two Niles in this unique site, at the actual center of the African continent, lies Khartoum, the capital of Sudan. A number of national and international airlines meet here, where the network of built roads and river transport starts. This provides an easy access for all to Sudan. Hospitality is our original feature in any Sudanese town or village. Hospitality is our original feature in any Sudanese town or village, is part of our culture. Khartoum, the national capital, is the center of vivacity and activity in Sudan. All services needed by tourists and travelers are easily available. Tourist transports are at your disposal through several companies that enable you to roam whenever you like, to wherever you decide within the capital or out of it. Hotels at various degrees and standards, popular residences or furnished flats are quite easy to get everywhere in the capital center, close to markets and the Nile Bank as well. You are always warmly, intimately, and sincerely welcome.